Arushi, are you there?
Hi, yeah, I'm here.
Ah, great. Arushi and I are old friends. She has been presenting a number of different things. And so you have something for us, Arushi?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. Um, so you're what? You're 19 years old. You're in college. Is that right?
No, I'm actually just 11 years, so I'm in grade six.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Arushi, it's your presentation. Tell us what you have for us.
Great. So, hello everyone. My name is Arushi, and I'm a grade six student from Toronto, Canada. And today, I'm going to be talking to you about one of the recent projects I did called Aiming for a Focus, defending our Earth from near-Earth asteroids by tracking and learning more about them. So today, I'll show you a bit about what I did during this project. So of course, some of you guys might be wondering, what exactly is a focus? Sorry, just my slides don't seem to be moving right now. I'll just try screen sharing again.
We've all had PowerPoint problems.
Yeah, so some of you guys might be wondering, what is Apophis? Well, Apophis 99942 Apophis is an asteroid. So asteroids are objects which, just like the Earth, orbit around the Sun. Now, most asteroids are found in between Mars and Jupiter, but their path doesn't always stay the same. Sometimes asteroids can go outside these limits, and sometimes even close to the Earth. Those are called near-Earth asteroids. So, Apophis is a near-Earth asteroid, but this asteroid is kind of interesting because in 2004, astronomers found an over 2.7% chance that this asteroid would collide with the Earth or the Moon. And in around 8 years from now, Apophis will go close to the Earth at a very close distance, even lower than some of our satellites. So I was really interested when I found this out, and I wanted to see what I could do with this information. And this was actually a perfect time to learn more about this asteroid. Because as you guys know, this year has been relatively different because of the COVID-19 virus. Lots of things have been closed, like offices, workplaces, restaurants, shops, even our schools. And like many other people, my schools turned online, which meant I didn't have to go to school, take the bus, and everything, which meant I had more time at home, which meant more time to follow my passions. And actually, during this lockdown, I've already made a couple of projects. For example, a project called Mass Scales, which measured the changes happening during the COVID-19 lockdowns on the environment. And at the same time, my brother had made a project to measure the underground vibrations and see how it would have changed during the COVID-19 lockdowns. So this covered the on Earth and underground, but I hadn't actually made any space-related projects yet. So I decided that my next project would be about this Apophis asteroid. I decided to try to learn the most of all I could do about this asteroid. And what better way to learn about asteroids than to actually look at them in telescopes? So I got started. So first, I had to actually take a picture of Apophis. To do so, I couldn't just use my home telescope because its aperture was not big enough, which meant it could not see asteroids with low magnitude. And at that time, when I was making my observations, Apophis had a low magnitude of around 20. So I had to switch to robotic telescopes. So I tried many of them. For example, the telescope from SLU. This was called the Chile 2 Wide Field Telescope. And this telescope gave me a great opportunity to learn more about how telescope works and their specifications and how to actually control the telescopes from the sky. But the problem with this one was that I could not change the exposure time or time it would take the picture for, which meant I could not make it look for um, asteroids with less magnitude. So I had to look for a different telescope. I came across the iTelescope website with a T11 telescope. And this actually was great because I could change lots of specifications, including the aperture, including the exposure time. But this telescope did not have a big enough aperture. So I had to go telescope searching again. I then came across the Phelps Telescope project from the Lascomber's observatory. And this was a great telescope with a big aperture of 2 meters. And I could observe many different objects and change the exposure time as I wanted. So this was a great telescope. And actually, I contacted them and told them about what my project was and how I wanted to look at Apophis and learn more about them. And they actually gave me 2 hours of observing time on their telescope. So now I had a great telescope. It was time to start observing. So I took a picture, and the next day I got the image. But this image wasn't in a normal JPEG format that you would find in normal images, but it was in the FITS format. So I could just normally open this. And I found out the difference between the FITS and any other image file. In the FITS format, I could actually look at the image, but I could also look, it also showed the specifications of the image, like when the image was taken, which telescope took this image, what was the specifications of the telescope, and so on. So now this was great because I could learn more about this image. So so the next thing I did was to scale the image. Why scaling? Well, the thing was that this image was, when I opened it, I saw a black screen. And I was like, what is this image? I should have seen like many other stars and an asteroid in the middle. I soon found out that that was because I hadn't scaled the image. What scaling does is it reduces the limit or the range of the brightness of a pixel. So when I reduce the range of this, I could actually start seeing more and more objects, the brighter ones, which would be shown more important as the darker ones. And as you can see in this final figure, I found many objects, and this was a perfect image. Now I have to start actually looking at or finding the Apophis asteroid in this image. So, but before that, I needed to verify if I took the image at the correct position. So I turned to Worldview Telescope, and what this does is I could enter my image, and it would actually tell me where this image was in the sky. And this way, I could actually verify if the image was taken at the right place. Also, when they take the image, sometimes they mirror the image or they flip it. So I could also check here if this image has been mirrored or flipped. So then it was time to look for the asteroid. How did I do this? Well, I used a software called Astrometrica. So the thing is that asteroids move constantly, but stars don't. So the stars don't move much. So if I could actually identify the stars in this image, I would be able to remove all of them from the possible list of asteroids because they are stars and they wouldn't move before. So to do that, I looked at a star catalog and it told me which of these objects are stars. So as you can see, there's a red circle around some of the objects in the second image. Those were the stars. But as you might have noticed, there are many other objects that did not have a star around them, which meant they weren't classified or they weren't identified stars. So I couldn't just pick one randomly and say this was the asteroid. I had to find a better way to find the asteroid. So I found out that I can overlay an image, basically from the minor planet center where it showed the position of many asteroids. And I could then I can find out which one was my asteroid because they would say which one it is. So I did this using the same software, Astrometrica. And as you can see in the second figure, I was able to find the asteroid. So, but I wanted to find out more about the asteroid than actually the position. I wanted to find out how fast the asteroid was moving. So to do so, I took a second image of the asteroid and did the whole process again, from scaling to finding the asteroid. And you can see the two images here on the screen. And they were taken one day from each other. So now I calculated the radiocentric and declination of the asteroid in the first image and the second image. And now this way, I could see how fast the asteroid was moving in a day. So this is how I calculated the proper motion of Hippothys. I'm saying proper motion and not the velocity or motion because this isn't actually the true speed of the asteroid. This is actually the minimal speed because when we take an image, we only look at two dimensions, not the third one. So the asteroid might have moved in the third dimension, but I wouldn't know. So finding how much the asteroid moved in the 2 days was actually kind of hard because while I could just use the Pythagorean's theorem and subtract the declinations to find how much it moved in that direction, I couldn't do the same for the radiocentric because in the radiocentric lines, their distance varies based on if it's above near the equators or if it's in the middle-ish, which meant that I had to use the declination to calculate the change in the radiocentric. So I used a formula that I found online, and I found out that this asteroid moved 0.011268 arc seconds per second. So now I knew the speed of this asteroid. I actually did a similar thing using Python just to see if I could do it. So basically, I took the images and I used specific Python libraries which would help me during the process. And just like before, I opened the image. And as you can see, the image was not scaled. So similarly, I scaled the image. Then I could also open the header file or the extra information from that image, which was stored in the FITS file. And you can see like the radiocentric declination here. And this, so I could find lots of information about this image.
Arushi, I'm glad that the asteroid is moving, but unfortunately, we're going to have to be moving also. So we have to move on. I'm sorry, what university did you say you were at? I didn't get that.
Huh. So I said I'm in grade 6, so I'm not yet in university.
I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I absolutely do not believe that. But I can assure you that I am very happy that I am not one of your teachers.
I was just thinking I would love her to be my student. You are amazing. Your passion and your attitude and your love for learning and how you're so persistent and trying new things and not giving up. You are going to do amazing things and with space. And do you have plans for your future?
I'm not sure exactly what I want to do in the future, but I would definitely want to do a topic that's related to space and robotics because those are topics that I love a lot.
Yes, I have seen her demonstrations of robotics, and they are just as impressive as this was. So, Arushi, we're going to have another event in July.
We need to block a half an hour for her.
Yes, absolutely. So you register for a half an hour, okay? And we'll get the full picture. Excellent. But keep on working. This is very good. We're all very impressed. Actually, I was impressed. Now I'm very sad because I can't do what you're doing. But
you're an inspiration.
Good luck in the university. I guess you'll be starting university in the fall, right?
No, in like 6 years.
They're so unfair. Thank you very much, Arushi. Thank you.
Thank you.